So on the weekend, AFC Wimbledon do take the long trip up to the north west, I believe it is, to face Barrow away from home. Going to be a very tough one. We'll get onto Barrow more in a bit, but they do have some very good home form, so it will be tough to break them down. But let's get into it. So, as I said, AFC Wimbledon do take one of the longest trips up north to an away game on against Barrow on Saturday afternoon. Fair play to any Wimbledon fan which is making the trek up to Barrow. It's a long journey. You have to change at Lancaster or somewhere up north. Definitely not a journey that I will be doing. Won't be there, unfortunately. But fair play to any Wimbledon fan that is making the trek up to Barrow. So, let's get into the preview. Wimbledon do come into this game in kind of on and off form. Obviously, we beat MK in the FA Cup. Really good to see that. We'll get onto away form a bit in a bit later on in the video as well. But yeah, as I said, Wimbledon do come into this game with on and off form, with the Dons losing their first game at home last Saturday against Grimsby Town. A very disappointing game, if you could call it. Not the best game. Should have taken our chances. Definitely a disappointing one to take, just due to the fact that we have been so clinical at home before that game in the league. We haven't lost at home, sorry. The goals that we've been scoring have been really good. We've been dominating, creating the chances, and it just seemed like kind of the polar opposite. Conceded a really soft goal, which should have never happened. A peach of a cross, fair play to him, but Owen Goodman, or the defence maybe, if you don't want to blame Owen Goodman, should have communicated better to try and get that, to just clear it away. It just seemed like everyone just stood still and just let it happen, which we don't really want to see. Yeah, as I said, the goal was really sloppy, even though we did create chances. The first half was poor. Second half, James Tilley had a couple chances, Omar Bugle had a couple chances, and it just seemed like we just couldn't really take them. I'm not really too sure why, but take that on the chin, go into this game needing to win. The next game against Accrington on Tuesday is so important, as it is one of the games in hand, but we will talk about that more in a preview on Sunday or Monday. Although the Dons will be looking to improve their away form. We've only won one game away from home in this season in the league, which was a 1-0 win away at Cheltenham earlier on in the season. The Dons should be confident coming into this game, just due to the fact that we did have a massive 2-0 win away at Milton Keynes in the FA Cup a couple of weeks back. They should be buzzing to go back away from home. Yes, it's a long journey, but I think the fact that if you do beat Milton Keynes away from home, they're a really good team when they want to be. They're tough to break down, and if everyone does their job, we can definitely go and beat Barrow away from home this coming Saturday. The away form does need to improve in the league if we do want to get higher up in the table. It's a massive important thing. We're doing well at home, only lost once in the league. We need to do the same pretty much away from home, start picking up points, and getting up that league table pretty much. Big news for Wimbledon. Well, maybe news that we don't really want to hear. Omar Bugle and Miles Hippolyte will be out for our upcoming two games against Barrow away from home on Saturday and Accrington, a game in hand on Tuesday night, due to both of them being called up for their respective national teams. Fair play to them, fair play that they want to go out. A little bit of a shame that Omar Bugle's gone, and I believe Miles Hippolyte's games are both friendlies as well, same with Bugle. So, I mean, Omar Bugle did miss the last international duty, so that might be why he's missed out that one, so he's going to do this one instead. Although we should be okay, I think the strength and depth Wimbledon have in the squad is really positive at the moment. We pretty much have two players in every single position, and we have a lot of players who can switch around, play other positions. We've talked about that in previous talking videos as well. James Tilley can play in a lot of positions. Josh Newville, Omar Bugle can drop back. A lot of the midfielders can go higher up. James Ball's dropped into centre back as well. So we do have a lot of options. Miles Hippolyte is a big miss. Didn't really start well in the start of the season, but ever since he's had the opportunity, he's done very well. Scored some very important goals as well. Omar Bugle will be a massive miss. That physicality up front. We should expect to possibly see Joe Pigott come on instead of Omar Bugle due to him being away on international duty. a very, very big game for Joe Pigott. Hasn't really done well this season. Only scored 1 goal in the league against Cheltenham in the only away win. So if he could do that again on Saturday, that would be absolutely brilliant. But I think we'll be okay. The strength and depth is really good. And I think the players always want to play. They're happy to even be on the bench and coming on for the last 10-15 minutes, impacting the game if they can. Do not see maybe Josh Kelly starting, unfortunately. Hasn't really been the best this season. But we could see Stevens and Joe Pigott start up front. Now, Wimbledon are in good form, obviously. Started well in the season. Still got 3 games in hand. Let's hope we move up in the table. This is a massive game on Saturday. We've talked about Wimbledon, so now let's move on to talking about the home side, Barrow. So Barrow come into this game sitting 11th in the league table, 15 games played, 6 wins, 4 draws and 5 losses. A lot of those 4 draws, I believe 3 of them have come in the last 5 games as well. They are winless in the league since a 2-1 win at home against Cheltenham on the 5th of October, so haven't won in a month and a bit. They did win in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy on Tuesday night, I believe, against Manchester City, but they have not won the most important games in the league since the 5th of October. Since that, they've had many draws, many losses. Well, they've had a few losses to Fleetwood and Accrington. A lot of their 4 draws have come in their last recent games, and Barrow seem like one of those teams where they start off really, really well and then drop off as the season progresses. You don't want to be getting draws in this league. You want to be snatching those 3 points, as you never know how important those extra points will become at the end of the season. A big thing I've noticed about Barrow, they do seem to have a pretty experienced squad full of players who have played in the league for so many years. Theo Vassell, a really good experienced centre-back in the league, has been a star performer in this Barrow side. They haven't conceded too many goals, haven't scored too many goals as well. So they do seem pretty tight at the back. And I think leading on to this, they do sit 3rd in the league home table. So they are really good at home. Only lost once in the league at home so far this season. So obviously they are pretty good at home, tight defensively, tough to break down, physical. So it will be a tough test for Wimbledon. So it should be an interesting fixture, as Wimbledon are looking to improve their away form, and what better to do at Barrow on Saturday. I am confident for this game though, could easily go either way. We know what this Wimbledon side can do. We know how good they are if they all do turn up on the day. But I think it will be close. I think it will be tight. As I said, Barrow have only lost 1 game away from home. They've drawn a lot of their last games. We don't really want draws. We want to be winning those games. You want to be picking up those extra points, especially away from home, if we do want to be promoted at the end of this season. But I'm confident, even though we have changes, but I'm sure Barrow will 100% be confident coming into this game, as we did lose 1-0 to Grimsby Town on Saturday. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on what you think will happen away at Barrow this coming Saturday. Let's hope for a positive result. Come on, you Dons.